Come here. When the English do a traditional roast dinner, one of the most important components of it is a thing called a Yorkshire pudding. It's just this little thing that you use to soak up the gravy and all the goodness that's left on your plate. Now, they're kind of higher carb, but today's recipe is a version of it with only 1 net carb per Yorkshire pudding. Let's go have a look. Welcome to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first video of ours that you're seeing, welcome. Have a look around, have a look at some of the other videos we've done. We put out weekly videos with keto and low carb recipes, as well as tips on living a sustainable keto lifestyle. So if that's what you're looking for, click subscribe so that you know when our videos are coming out. Okay, so we're coming up to Christmas, everything's coming along, you're doing your planning, you're putting things in place. By this time, you probably know what you're going to be eating for Christmas dinner. And like I said earlier, if you're having a traditional English roast, then you need to have Yorkshire puddings on your plate. Yorkshire puddings are actually a pretty simple recipe. The batter is actually similar to like a pancake or something like that, which means traditionally they include wheat flour. Now wheat flour, it's a higher carb ingredient. Obviously it's a gluten-y ingredient. So we've got to look at how we can replace that in the recipe. And today we're going to do that by replacing it with arrowroot. So let's have a quick talk about arrowroot, because if you compare the nutritional information of arrowroot flour to standard wheat flour side by side, the arrowroot's actually a higher carb ingredient. But there's a couple of factors here that come into play. First of all, and this is probably the big one, arrowroot has double the thickening power of wheat flour. So although it is higher carb, you use much less of it. It's also lower on the glycemic index. It has prebiotic fibers that are good for your gut health, and it's gluten-free. So if you have people in your life who are trying to stay away from gluten, this could be the answer for that. All right, so let's get into the cook. Now this is super easy. It's only got 5 ingredients and one of them is the fat that you use to cook it in. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to preheat our oven. We're going to set it to 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 Fahrenheit. Today we're going to be making 12 Yorkshire puds in a standard muffin tray. This one holds 12 Yorkshire puds, so we'll do it in one batch. Now while the oven's preheating, we're going to put our cooking fat into the muffin tray and put that into the oven so that the fat can be preheating as well. We want it nice and hot when we pour the mixture in. So into each of the little muffin sections, we're going to add half a teaspoon of beef dripping or tallow. Now you could easily do this with coconut oil as well, if that's your preference. The reason we've chosen beef fat, it's going to serve it with a beef roast, and so it gives that nice flavor going through it. And we're just going to pop that in. I've actually got that on a tray already. When we cook the Yorkshire puds, sometimes it can push some of the oil out, and it just helps keep your oven clean. So we're going to pop that in there now. So now we move on to the batter. Only need a small bowl. It's only a small amount of ingredients. The first one being the arrowroot flour that we talked about earlier. Now this is 16 grams of arrowroot flour, and that just goes straight in. Then we're going to add just a couple of pinches of salt. Then it's 120 mils of cream. Now this is full double cream, full fat, all action cream. And we're going to give that a stir. That goes thick pretty quickly, but it's absolutely okay. Next, we're adding 2 eggs. And we're going to mix this till it's all nice and even. And with that all evenly mixed, we're going to let that sit for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we've given the batter the time to rest that it needed. The oil is nice and hot in the oven, and we're going to put the batter into the oil fairly quickly as best we can. Now the reason for the quickly bit is that we want to put it into the hot oil. And we're going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of our batter mix into each of the muffin sections. And with all that done, we're going to pop them in the oven for about 20 minutes. So I've had them in there for about 25 minutes all up, so we're just going to get them out now. And there we go. They look amazing. Look at it. Look at it. They're going to sink a little bit while the heat comes out, just as they've come out of the oven, but they are nice and crispy looking. They look amazing. Tell you what, I'd be happy with one of them on my plate. Let's have a bit of a test of one. So light and fluffy, even just pulling out of there, you can actually feel it. All right, I'm gonna tear this open. Actually, bring the camera over here, Lise. Look at it, it's like a perfect little cup for putting gravy into, and look how light and fluffy it is. Watch this. You can hear it, but let's just show you. Oh, that is brilliant. I don't know if you can hear it. Ready? That's nice and crispy. All right, let's try it. That's brilliant. It's flaky. It's nice and salty. It's tasty. It would go perfect with your roast dinner. Oh, I could finish off this whole tray, and that whole tray would be 12 net carbs. Did I mention that? Each of these, 1 net carb. Even though it is 1 carb, we'd still only call this a sometimes food. So, you know, your Christmases and that sort of thing, when you're having a big roast dinner, it's a big event, popping one of these on your plate, oh, so good. All right, so my camera lady is telling me that we need to wind this up because she wants to eat one as well. So guys, please let us know if you give these a try. It's gonna go great with your Christmas roast. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to hit the like if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, and all the sort of YouTube stuff. But from us, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.